Well, good morning and happy Friday to you all. And if you were anywhere near northwest Georgia, you're probably seeing a lot of rain right now. But it's a nice day outside, and I'm reporting and recording rather this video from the house, and that's a great early morning start. We're going to do a wellness moment, a wellness minute this morning, and talking about something that's very important. Maybe it affects you, maybe it doesn't, but it does affect a lot of people. I know that a lot of our seniors are affected by this one thing, and that's sleep apnea. If you find yourself with a few of these symptoms I'll talk about here momentarily, you may have sleep apnea, and you would probably benefit yourself by bringing these to the attention of your doctor on your next physical, or even making an appointment just for this reason. But there are three basic types of sleep apnea. One is obstructive sleep apnea, which is the most basic, most common. That's when the muscles in your throat, when you go to sleep, they relax and they close your airway, and that restricts the breathing at that point. The second one is central sleep apnea, and that's where your brain just doesn't tell your muscles in your throat to contract to open your airway, and that's called central. And the last one is called sleep apnea condition is called complex, which is a combination of the central and obstructive sleep apnea, which you have both, which is very serious. And I want you to know that my information comes to you this morning, not just from me, but from the Mayo Clinic. So if I read stats or symptoms, they are from the Mayo Clinic, which is a often cited and very reputable source of information. But you may know that probably the most talked about symptom of sleep apnea is going to be snoring, and I will add to that loud snoring. So if you have loud snoring, you may have sleep apnea. You may not either, but the chances are, if you're older and have a condition of loud, or have the symptom of loud snoring, you may have the condition of sleep apnea, and you should see a doctor. But here's some of the symptoms here. I talked about loud snoring, but maybe when you know that you stop breathing at night and you wake up and you're gasping for air, or maybe if you have a spouse at home, or a child who's maybe in the next room, or there's somebody watching you sleep in the recliner, and they note that you stop breathing. That is certainly a dead giveaway, a signal. And I don't want to make a pun here, but it is a very serious condition that can eventually lead to death because of the complications that go along with sleep apnea. Waking up with dry mouth. So if you're extremely thirsty, or you know your mouth is dry when you wake up, that usually is the indicator that you were snoring heavily when you were sleeping. Well, that's the indicator. Having a morning headache is another one of those symptoms. Difficult staying awake during the day, and there's a term for that. It's called hypersomnia. It's when you get sleepy during the day, which is outside your normal sleep cycle at night. If you're getting sleepy during the course of the day, is usually an indicator that you didn't sleep well the night before. Excessive daytime sleepiness, I wanted to say that. Difficulty paying attention and focusing during the day. Usually it's because of your body has not gone into the deep enough sleep to recover, and that's the whole body. That's getting all your mental faculties, where your brain goes into a really regenerative mode, where you're really healing your body and you're sleeping well. But that is the deep level of sleep that you may have missed out on because of sleep apnea. And the last one is irritability. So some of you may be irritable by nature. Some it may be because of this condition. But when should you see a doctor? Well, loud snoring again can be actually a symptom of this, but it can be a very serious problem. But make sure you see a doctor and let them determine the steps you should take. But with that, let's talk about a couple other things that are associated with sleep apnea. Oftentimes, those who have it, it can also lead to these things when your whole body is affected. Your entire cardiovascular system is affected by sleep apnea, and that's your body's ability to move blood around and oxygen-rich cells throughout your body. But the metabolic syndrome, it's a disorder where it affects your entire body. That would be increased in causes high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol levels, high blood sugar, and usually it results in type 2 diabetes. It's also an increase in your weight. So if you're heavy around your middle, that is oftentimes linked to this inability to sleep well at night that is caused by sleep apnea. Um, Liver problems are also a part of that. And what my wife will attest to is that maybe if you're having sleep apnea episodes during the course of the night, no doubt your spouse is also suffering along with you because that person cannot sleep. But again, those are the complications you have. It can affect every part of your psyche during the daytime, as well as your feeling complete and whole during the day. But again, there are some people who are more likely to suffer from sleep apnea than others. Being a male, if you're a man, you are 2 to 3 times more likely to have sleep apnea. Simply being older increases our chances significantly as we become a certain age. If you have a family history also, if you have siblings or your parents had sleep apnea, again, it is part of that as well. If you use alcohol or take sedatives or sleeping aids, this could also lead to sleep apnea where it causes the muscles in your throat to relax, and you can also have that. If you're a smoker, smokers are also 2 to 3 times more likely. Actually, it says 3 times more likely, not 2 to 3, but 3 times more likely to have the obstructive sleep disorder of sleep apnea. And so please keep that in mind. If you have nasal congestion or allergies that cause nasal congestion, that can increase your chances of having sleep apnea. And the medical conditions, even though sleep apnea is noted to cause a number of conditions, sometimes conditions can cause sleep apnea, and those conditions are if you have a history of heart failure, congestive heart failure, if you have high blood pressure already, or type 2 diabetes, as well as Parkinson's disease. These are some of the conditions that will increase your risk of having high blood pressure. Excuse me, rather, but sleep apnea. I was reading high blood pressure there. High blood pressure is certainly one of those things that many people who are over a certain age have to really watch. But with that, this is just your wellness minute. I hope you have a great Friday. Again, as I close, make sure you see a doctor if you have these symptoms. It can certainly change your life. So this is Preston from Lafayette Senior Center, and I hope you have a great Friday. Bye now.